She was very clearly told by those officers, the one right next to her door, right next to her window, get out of the car. Why did she not obey?
And he had his hand on the door. We're going to play. I'm going to play
Right. So, I mean, it's an obey thing. So if you're saying Ashley Babbitt had to obey and she got what she got because she didn't, why is Nicole special? Is it because she's a paid agitator through Soros? Like, why is she more special?
Well,
that's my question.
We're going to get to that. It's a lot to cover tonight. It really, really is, guys. If you're watching, please hit the like button. All right. So I don't think everyone has seen the video, nor have they probably seen it broken down. This is Tim Pool. He does a pretty good assessment. He's one of my least favorite people, but I like what he did with this. I'm going to play it now.
Said that I believed she wasn't intending to hit the officer and was trying to flee, but still put the officer in fear of harm. No, I've changed my mind. I'm going to show you the slowed down footage that I believe proves this woman was intending to kill that ICE agent. Watch the officer who has his gun drawn. Look at his feet right here in the back left. Let me make it a little bit easier for you guys to see. As I pull this forward, notice his feet both slide backwards. You see his foot sliding? Yeah, he's not taking a step. He's being hit by the vehicle. Now I can already hear you saying, hold on, Tim. If you're up against a vehicle and it accelerates and it pushes you out of the way, that doesn't warrant shooting somebody. Agreed. Let's go back to the lie. Here's the officer. Here's the vehicle reversing. The officer is not in front of the vehicle. She reverses, and now he is in front of the vehicle. He initially is to the right of the vehicle. By all means, argue he should not have placed himself in this position. We're talking about seconds. Now watch this. The vehicle stops here. The wheels are pointed left. As you can see, the officer is standing right in front of the vehicle. Now watch this. Right there. You see the front tire? Watch the front tire right here. The wheels are pointed left, and she accelerates. The wheel spins out on ice. Then, with the wheels pointed at the officer, having spun out already, meaning the officer can hear the engine rev with it pointed at him, he draws his weapon. And in a second, because this is slow mode, she then begins to turn right, hitting him, and he shoots. I want to stress this again. Her tire, her front tire on her SUV is spinning out on the ice. You can see it right there. It spins on the ground. It slips. The officer, who was not standing in front of the vehicle before she backed up and pointed at him, and then accelerates with her tires spinning out, and then moving forward, he draws his weapon, and then the wheel turns to the right. Now, of course, people have said, oh, like, she only tried to turn right after the gun was drawn. Maybe, but I'll put it like this. I don't know what her intentions were, and it's immaterial what her intentions were. But look at this. The tire spinning out and slipping on the ice before stopping. There are 2 points that I think are important. Were it not for the ice, which you can see on the ground, the vehicle would have just lurched forward, run this guy over. Seriously.
Okay, guys, before we respond, we have over 300 people on the live right now. If you guys can please hit the like button, support the live. Yeah. So, Gray, my man, you hosted last night and you did a deep dive. You didn't get to really give your opinion on this. I really don't even know how you feel, and we talk every day. What do you think? Was this justified, unjustified? What's your thoughts?
Well, since you want to talk about that, let's talk about real life. Weren't you standing there when the people pulled the strap on me in Orlando?
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So
let's talk about
that. To the real. No. Let's go to the real. So it's the reputation of people. I'm in Orlando. I'm riding clean, stunned. Cop pulls me over. The first guy is cool. We laughing. Then a lady pull up. She doesn't even say anything. She just gets out of the car and pulls a strap. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I'm hot. But of course, I have to be cool and just like, hey, lady, I just got my car out of the whatever it's called, the place. And I don't want any issues. Like, what's the problem? So, like, law enforcement has a bad reputation, whether it's ICE, whether it's whatever. People are going to say.
Wait, no, let's tell the rest of the story. At the time, your car smelled very loud. Let's talk about that.
No, that's not true.
Your car
Not
smelled
true.
very loud, so that was part of it. But
Just like a bag of Republicans. Just
Boy,
like a
the
bag of
odds over here.
Republicans.
Damn. I gotta side with Gray. How dare you?
I am. Moment you said I'm ex-military. I just got out the military. They said they stood down and they gave you a warning. They even arrested you.
That's not what happened.
So they love law enforcement.
That's not what happened. And this is what I'm talking about. They call it the blue wall, whatever they call it. Because me and the other guy, he was like, oh, you do music? This is that. We're like laughing, joking around. And then she came up and just changed the entire energy. And that's the issue. Cops don't tell on cops, just like the streets. The streets, people don't tell on each other. So it's just like, was he wrong? Was he not wrong? I'm not a proponent of a person getting in trouble for doing their job. You're just trying to work. No matter if I'm on the left or not, I don't want to be in a position where I'm in my job and I was in the military and I go to prison just because I joined the military. So, but I don't want to get into all the particulars and say, oh, okay, the tire went this way and she missed that. That's for forensics, and I'll wait to what the case says. And I feel like that's what we should be doing in America. Wait to what they say in court.
Nah, we're not doing that. You got one or two options right now in America.
I agree and disagree. I'm not gonna lie.
I hear you. You go out there, you're gonna go tear stuff up, or you can peacefully protest. I'm all for peacefully. So far, they've been peaceful. I will give them that. Or you stand 10 toes down and you say, I'm standing with law enforcement. I'm standing with the ICE agents. That's where we're at right now. Or you just be like, come on, stay out of everything.
Man, you stay home. You catch no federal charges. You pay your mortgage. You eat healthy. It's 2026. We got a new food pyramid, baby. You stay home. Anybody who's watching this, don't go outside, okay? Don't get shot over stupid. Stay home, pay your bills, and eat healthy. That's what we're doing in 2026.
When you were on that panel, you're like, I'm getting my whole worth of my mortgage. I'm staying home.
That's what I'm saying. My electricity bill's over $200. I'm got my lights on. I'm enjoying it. I'm not going nowhere. It's 10 degrees outside. Again, I'm not going anywhere. I'm sitting here and I'm enjoying it. The feds ain't going to get me. You know why? Because I'm going to be home.
But Gray, you had it in slow mo. That's a good point. Stop. Don't ride the fence on this. You could say you stand with the lady. You could say you feel bad for her. Was it unjustified?
Well, anytime someone is killed by the police, the government, of course, I feel like it's unjustified. But you're trying to pigeonhole me into something where I'm going like, okay, I'm not going to say she was wrong or what she was right. If he goes to court and they say, hey, this was self-defense, then he gets to beat the charge. That's the way we go with the laws, whether I believe he did it or not. So I'm not going to just say, hey, yes, I'm definitely for this lady. I don't feel like J.D. Vance should have came out. I don't know if you go play that and say what he said. I don't feel like Trump should have said what they said. They're the executive.
Yeah, you know what? I will play a speech from a politician now. You've inspired me.
Have determined the character of a 37-year-old mom that they didn't even don't know. They've determined that the actions are done. I don't know. I've not used inflammatory terms of what happened. I've asked us to find the answers. The only way we find the answers is a thorough investigation. I don't have a predetermined notion. Yes, I saw the video. Yes, I saw that.
Sounds
but
just
a thorough
like
investigation will see what happened before that. It will take all factors in, and it will come up with a fair and just conclusion. And we will accept that. Very, very difficult for Minnesotans to think in any way this is going to be fair when Kristi Noem was judge, jury, and basically executioner yesterday. That's very, very difficult to think that they were going to be fair.
Ooh, so Kamal, people are basically saying, you heard the talking points from the Democrats tonight. So people are basically saying, wait, do you have an opinion, or are you saying wait for everything to come out? What more do you want to see? What more do you think you would need to see at this point?
Should have just complied. I mean, shit. If that cop that popped Sonia Massey, RP, our black sister, got self-defense, well, damn it, this cop should get self-defense too. I don't give a damn. Don't give a damn. I seen enough. She was using that vehicle as a goddamn weapon. As a damn weapon. Should have just complied. I'm just saying.
So
hear
did
that
he
shit-
get off? The guy with Sonia Massey, he got off? He got off, right?
No,
Nope.
He was
I
found
don't know if
guilty.
he got off or not, but they're claiming self-defense.
I'm pretty sure he was charged, wasn't he?
Let me
But
check.
I think yeah, can you look up the results of the
Yeah.
trial? I think it recently happened.
What was it? Tanya Massey, right?
Yeah.
Sonia Massey.
Sonia.
Sonia Massey, yeah.
But keep going, Kamal. Sorry, I just was curious if he got off, if he was guilty.
Nah, I don't need to go anymore. Shit, they should have complied. They tell us that all the goddamn time. Just comply. You'd be all
Yeah,
right.
it says Sean Grayson found guilty of murder in the death of Sonia
Okay.
Massey. So they convicted him of murder.
So we don't know. I mean, from what I mean, they haven't charged this guy yet, but the pressure is on from everyone. They claim they've seen all the angles. They say that they still think it's justified. But I want to play this clip, guys, because there was a witness, and this is important.
They wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah,
Okay.
that was her goal.
Definitely impeding ICE vehicles. Definitely.
That's what she
Mia,
was doing?
Yes, she was. So basically, Enzo, correct me because I know you researched this. Enzo, you actually go ahead and say what
Yeah.
she found out, because
So from what I found out is that she was, like they said, a part of a bigger protest. They were blocking a one-way street. That's the only direction they could go is to go straight. So she was blocking a one-way street. She was supposedly there's eyewitnesses saying before that video started, the officers told her to leave. She didn't leave. So what did the officer do? Okay, cool. Get the fuck out of the vehicle then. Then that's when she puts it in drive, hits the ICE officer. And unfortunately, sorry to say, you fuck around enough, you're going to find out. You hit an ICE officer. Regardless if people think that this is the new thing that everyone wants to say, well, they're not police officers. They're federal officers. They have jurisdiction on the American people. You're obstructing. You're obstructing an ICE proceeding. You're going to get charged with obstruction. They can pull you out of a vehicle and detain you for that and charge you for obstruction. There's nothing wrong that the ICE officer did. And this is the same ICE officer that was dragged 6 months ago by somebody fleeing a scene, had to get 32 stitches. The same exact ICE officer. He was walking around. There's like 3 angles. You have the front angle, which you see the officer walking around the vehicle when she starts turning in his direction. So it's not like he placed himself in that position, because that is against police protocol. You're not supposed to put yourself in front of a moving vehicle. He was walking around to the other side, and that's when she put her foot on the gas.
Not just that, they were throwing stuff at them. There was stuff going on that's not on the camera. And I was talking to someone today, and I was like, that's not how it went. There was a lead up to this. This didn't just happen out of nowhere. And I don't know. That's important to note, though. Mia, what's your thoughts? What have you heard?
And I've heard so much stuff that can't always be substantiated. So I heard that she was from Colorado and drove here. I heard that allegedly there is an open CPS case against her wife for physically harming the children in the home, aka cigarette burns to the arm. I heard that from a semi-reliable source, so I'm not sure that has not been substantiated. But I will say that obviously, I went to the No Kings protest in my own state, and these people are definitely paid. They're in massive group chats. You arrive there and there are tons of signs everywhere. It's very coordinated. I mean, this is what a lot of these people do for a living. So, I mean, she was clearly there to... I'm not saying she was there to incite violence, but I'm definitely saying she was being paid. It was very coordinated. There were people, her own wife was videographing everything. So I don't know. It just seems like a bad situation for everybody.
Kimberly, I know when we first met you, you said that you're active, you go to protests. What are your thoughts on the allegations of these being paid protesters, and what do you think about everything? Because I thank you for coming. I know you're just joining us, so you can give us your opinion.
I'm not an activist. I don't go. Thank you for having me, guys. Sorry, I hit a lot of traffic, and I've been awake since 4 in the morning. But I wouldn't call myself an activist. I don't protest too much. I do what I can. I did go to the first No Kings. The second No Kings I didn't go to. Those are more weird and silly. I actually agree. Both sides will do a lot of these coordinated agitators, paid actors. It happens all the time. Um, so I do get what Mia is saying. I'm not sure what she's saying in response to. But I mean that's true. Both parties do that.
So, do you have an opinion about what happened in Minnesota?
They shot and killed and murdered the Renee lady.
Yeah, Renee lady. Renee Good. Yeah.
That was an excessive use of force. And that have they determined if that officer, what branch he's in, the ICE officer? I'm not sure
I
if they
don't
determined that, but he should be
know.
held accountable. That was
Well, what
excessive.
was revealed today by Vice President Vice President Vance,
What?
sorry, Vice President Vance said today that this was not the first incident with this officer. A few months ago, another incident, he was dragged hundreds of feet, and I think it was on tape. I didn't find it yet though, because it just came out. But anyways, so basically, he might have PTSD from this. For months, people have been flicking with the ICE agents. People have been throwing stuff at them, spitting in their face, calling them Nazis, calling them all sorts of names.
Mhm.
So that's, anyways, I say all that to say that this has been a buildup for these guys.
Well, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Because the ICE agents, the Border Patrol, they're also way out of hand. They're pretty tyrannical, in my opinion. I think there's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things. And if you want to see how to do things in the wrong way, you look at what ICE and what Border Patrol and what they're doing now.
So do you have any videos of them doing something like out of nowhere, or is there always a buildup? Because every action has a reaction.
They're intentionally terrorizing communities. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys are looking at the same videos I'm looking at, but I don't say that rudely, but they are intentionally, they're doing it to deter further illegal immigration, which is working. They have deterred further illegal immigration. But they do show up a lot of times unannounced. They show up without any identification. They show up without any warrants. And we've seen the videos. They attacked a pregnant lady. They attacked that older man that owned the business. So yeah, even if you were to look at just the police in general, they're not as many instances with police as there have been with immigration and ICE and Border Patrol. And it is intentionally like that. They have been given orders to just do what they're supposed to do to carry it out as in the most heinous and terroristic way possible. At the same time, I will also concede that a lot of times citizens, not just in protests or in public spaces, will instigate, agitate. It's always a case-by-case basis when it comes to the police brutality. Like, for example, I've heard that with the Renee lady, a lot of people are saying, well, she shouldn't have driven off like that because he was afraid that he was going to get trampled over. I don't agree with that. In that instance, I personally, I mean, I wouldn't ever put myself in a situation like that. I'm not sure if she was just driving away from home. Do we know that yet? Or
She
was there intentionally?
Enzo feels pretty confident. I've heard this as well, that she didn't live there. She came from Colorado.
She's not from Minnesota, yeah.
Okay.
She's from Colorado. Her car was registered in Missouri. She has no
And
ties
before-
to Minnesota whatsoever.
She had like no business being there, right?
None.
Well,
I'm
other
not-
than she was a protester told to be there in a caravan of protesters where
Okay.
they were told to go block the road. And an eyewitness admitted that she was a protester there blocking the road.
Mm-hmm.
And then
So-
what Kyle Rittenhouse did with overstayed.
I don't let me be clear. I do not.
Kyle Rittenhouse was attacked though.
I don't support Kyle Rittenhouse. I think he's a criminal. I know I'm gonna lose people and I don't give a damn. I think he's a criminal and I think he deserves to be in prison. He did not deserve, he had no business being there too. I'm consistent. Just like she had no business being there.
Okay. So I wouldn't personally put myself in a situation like that. I think with the police, and well, at least me, I wouldn't intentionally put myself in a position like that or drive away. I do what they say. Yeah. Even though I don't necessarily like the police, right? But she still didn't deserve to die. Nobody deserves to die. And what really about this whole situation, what I've really just noticed is that it is really partisan. Because if the roles were flipped, if this was a capital city police officer who did something similar to a January 6th rider, it would be completely flipped because we see everything through a tribal lens. Or even this, because this woman was, I'm 33, she's 37, she's a mom, I'm a mom. What if that would have been me, right? What if I was just driving away from home and sometimes, like I've told a police officer bad stuff sometimes because they disrespected me. And if you disrespect me, I'm going to disrespect you. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the police. I don't care if you're my mom, or I don't care if you're the Pope, right? So let's say if I felt threatened, because it does look like she was trying to get away. What if that had been me? Like, what if I'd been shot like that and died? Would I have deserved it? Maybe if you guys see a more like personal human connection to it, that's how, like, instead of looking at it through like a partisan point of view, if that were me, if I bled to death and was denied access to a physician or some type of help right there, would we still be saying the same thing?
But they pissed off with you. They said they reported the channel for misinformation. Sorry.
I'll be real. I'm not looking at it through a partisan lens. If she complied, she'd be alive. That's her fault for not complying.
Okay, so if I were there and I wouldn't have complied and I would have been murdered,
It's your
like
fault. That's on you.
that's horrible.
Sorry. If a cop gives you a lawful order, you're supposed to argue that in court, not in the street. Shut up, take the ride, go down there, file your habeas corpus claims, file your civil rights claim. Take it to the court. Don't take it to the street.
Yeah, that's too much power to the police. So there's also an
No,
eyewitness
that's
there
how
that
you hold
said
them
she
accountable.
was-
That's how
okay.
you hold them accountable. You hold them accountable in a court of law, not in the court of the street. Because at the end of the day, the street is never going to win. Statistically, the streets never win compared to the courts.
Well, the civil rights movement would say otherwise. But when it comes to police immunity, that's a whole other case right there. I have a really good book that I could refer to you guys. It's called Propaganda. It mostly emphasizes the propaganda that they have through the police, but it also talks about just like statistics and police brutality and how the roles are flipped. The police are supposed to protect us, but they really only protect the state. But I disagree because, like I said, if it would have been, maybe if it wasn't me in that point of view, but if it were a January 6th rider and a Capitol Police would have used excessive force,
They did.
in that way,
Ashley
not
Babbitt.
right, but in a more obvious way like this on camera, where there was that one girl that was unfortunately murdered that day, but the roles would be flipped. They would have, depending on what partisan point of view, what partisan lens you're looking at it, it's always a tribalistic view, and it should be consistent. Nobody deserves to die like that.
Yeah. So we're gonna switch gears here, guys, because there's a lot to cover tonight. So I appreciate Kimberly for actually giving an opinion, unlike Gray, and holding it down for the left tonight. Because we gotta have.
I don't say what you want me to say. And
stand
that's
on business.
exactly
No, I
what
wanted you to get stand
Coming
on
from me is
business.
crazy in the chat.
Can we ask
standing
the guy
business.
what the misinformation was?
Yeah, tell us in the chat what the misinformation is. But we're gonna
They
switch
trolls.
gears to another part of the story. The other part of the story is Kamal, play the X-Files music.
Oh shit, hold on. Hold on, let me find it real quick.
I gotta put my.
You said the X-Files music, right? You ready?
Yes. Yes. Okay, guys. The other part of this story is